Welcome to Playing the Big, Beautiful Long Game, where entrepreneurship meets spirituality. In this podcast, we explore the intersection of personal fulfillment, spiritual growth, and business success. This podcast delves into the idea that entrepreneurship is not just about profits or growing businesses. It's also about embracing purpose, meaning, and inner growth. Each episode features conversations with entrepreneurs and thought leaders who share their journeys of building businesses that align with their highest values and deepest calling. I'm your host, Debbie Zita. Sit back, relax, and thank you for being here. Welcome, beautiful Kyoko. Thank you so much for being here. Can you please let the audience know who you are and what it is that you do?
Hi, everybody. My name is Kyoko. I'm based in Melbourne, Australia, and I am a board game creator. So I used to be a financial planner, financial advisor, mortgage broker for a long time, and I became a business consultant. But life just happened, and we start creating board games and card games, and now I'm helping business owners turning their IP into games. That's what I do.
Wow, this is very cool. And I love this because I met you years ago. We were just saying before we hit record. I think it must have been 3 or so years ago that we chatted. It goes so fast. And so I do know you in the other roles. And I'm
Yes.
so curious to find out. Let's find out together. What happened? What inspired you? How did all of this come about?
So I sold my companies, both financial planning and mortgage broking companies. And and then COVID happened, right? And then things changed. And we went out on a holiday with our cousins. So it's a family, two families getting together. And we got a text message saying another cousin have a 3-year-old daughter, and she has a cancer. So we are asking all the family members to donate so we can research what's wrong, or she has another, blood a disease or something like that. So they had to do a research, also the treatment for the cancer for 3-year-old.
My God.
And then that was very shocking for us. And we were out on a holiday, having fun, enjoying ourselves, and then got this text message. And then we were like, okay, well, we can give money, but there must be something else that we can do. What can we do? And on holidays, we just play board games. You can see a lot of board games.
Yes.
We play board games. So we were like, okay, how about we create a board game? And, we love board games because it connects people.
Yes.
And you learn so much, and you laugh so much. It creates a different level of connection.
Yes.
And so we said, okay, that may be good. So let's create a board game. And my son said, oh, I want a ninja game. So we created a ninja game. So that's what happened.
Oh, it's so gorgeous. And then from there, how did you firstly, I want to actually go back for a moment and just pause. I'm taking in the story that you were sharing. And my heart goes out to that poor, beautiful little soul and also their family. And I want to mention when I'm sorry, I'll start that again. When I met you and your husband, one of the things that stayed with me was your kindness and your heart and your soul to really connect with people and care for people, and without hesitation refer them to the right people, offer money if they need, and just offer that help and assistance. So I imagine whatever it is that you do, whether it was the coaching, the consulting, the financing, or the board games, that you put your heart and your soul into the projects that you're involved with. So I just wanted to say that as well.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. Can you let us know, how did this become, a business? How did it become from just one game for your son into something bigger?
Yeah. So it was all learning the first year because I never knew anyone who created board games. We play board games, but I don't know any board game creators or publishers. We didn't have anyone like that in our lives. And so it was like, oh, how do we manufacture? What files do we need? How do we play tested to make sure that it's all good. How do we write rule book? So it was all about learning. And I felt like I was a newbie in a business because I have been in business for a long time and I knew what I was doing. But professional services and creating digital products and coaching and, um, yeah, mentoring is totally different from creating a board game. So I was going through this deep learning and I was, oh my God, this is so deep and interesting. And we launched our game on Kickstarter, successfully funded within 75 minutes. And we manufactured and delivered everything last year. And then I said to Johan, my husband, this is fantastic, but my passion is helping people and creating something meaningful. And what I love to do is turning world-class business books to games. And that's when everything was like, aha, yeah, that's the reason why I had to go through this process to understand, because that combines my creativity and fun, passion with my business acumen and experience. And then things that I loved, I love the business books. So combining all that, and I felt that is where I should be. So that's how it
Amazing.
happened.
Well done. What has been your favorite creation so far?
Oh, too many to mention. Um, Creating a game for me is expressing myself or expressing the principle of what it is. And when Johan went to Camino de Santiago, which is 800-kilometer pilgrimage with his dad last year for 2 months, he was walking for 800 kilometers.
Wow.
And he went through a lot of emotional ups and downs and different experience. So we created what would help people emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So we created 3 decks, which is just behind me. I'll show you.
Yes, I was going to say, please show us what you have. I'm so glad that you're doing this.
So those they are decks. This is a transformational trail. This one is Walk with Faith. It has a lot of Bible scriptures. And
Gorgeous.
then this is the inner journey. This one, inner journey, is about discovering yourself. And then transformational trail is actually more outside of yourself to
Yes.
connect and expand. So we created 3 decks. Also, the board game that we created is just here. Camino the way to Santiago. So that is experiencing the whole journey. Not everybody can walk 800 kilometers or go to Spain to do that.
Yes.
So we created a board game to experience the whole journey from France to Santiago.
Wow.
So winning condition is to experience by meeting people, eating yummy food, taking photos of the beautiful places and connecting people, helping other people. That's the game is about. So creating a game is just sharing the experience, and that's one element to it. But they're also turning IP. So whatever you want to teach, there is a principles and systems and process that you go through that can turn into a game as well. And that's how I don't know who else is doing this, but I found that this is such an amazing, powerful tool that you can use in your business or in your life to teach people or inspire people, share your ideas and knowledge to actually experience rather than just reading. But so yeah, it's the next level of fun that I think it is.
I have a funny fact to share, which is this must have been 5 or something years ago when I had my current website, which is now going to be rebranded and relaunched this year. But I was working with my graphic designer, who was also a client of mine at the time. And when you have that connection with someone that you know in different ways, that you get to be really creative and just
Mm.
kind of go, what about this? And what about that? And this
Mm.
color and that color. So we're having one of our many, WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger kind of chats. And I messaged her saying, what if we did a game? And
Mm.
so we actually had a few visuals. Nothing ever happened or came of it. but we had a few visuals around the six selves, around what if you could have a game that explores all of those different aspects of yourself. And it's interesting because it sounds not that dissimilar to what you're sharing. Everything I do is all about the inner journey and the outer journey and everything else. So yeah, this is amazing, and I love that you're doing this, and I love
Mm.
that that it's working and it's something that's tangible for people to see and touch and feel and everything else. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Can you share with us, have you seen whether, I'm not sure if transformation is the right word, but maybe a case study or one of your clients that you have created something and how that's, impacted their business and their confidence? Is that something that you're happy to share with
Yeah,
us?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, Melbourne-based, author, he had written a book called, Success in 50 Steps or 50 Steps in Success.
Yes.
And he has a book, but also he wanted to have a deck to go through all the 50 steps. And quite often, it's applied to me as well, but you read a book and you forget, or you read a book, but you don't take action. And sometimes all you need is a little reminder that, that's right, that's right, that's what I have to do. And then having cards is a lot easier than reading whole book and then flipping it through. So he actually has a deck now that go through the cards. And then they are in sequence with what has to happen in business to be successful. So he just goes through, even if he's talking to his clients, like, well, this is a step that you have to do. And it's so much easier than just flipping through the book. And then he uses that for himself as well, that, okay, when I feel stuck in business, what am I missing? So he goes through that. And I do the same as well. I have a business game. It's called It's Just Business.
Mhm.
And it goes through so many crises and, shutdowns. And when Trump tariff happened, right? Everyone's talking about this right now. Huge tax on the goods that manufacture in China, and that's what we do. We manufacture things in China,
Mm.
and we were thinking, okay, what do I have to do? I feel a bit stuck now with uncertainties. What do I have to do? So I lined up all the cards from It Just Business game. This is happening. Okay, that taxes are happening. The government is, or supply chain is shut down or disturbed. All these things happening, and then I lined up all the asset card, which is what you can do in smart marketing to overcome those challenges or schemes to make sure that you're using influencer marketing or you're using different ways to sustain and thrive in business. So I use that as a tool rather than not only to play the game.
Amazing. The word that comes to my mind, and I'm curious to find out how this lands with you, but is, pivoting. I
Oh,
think,
definitely.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah,
yeah. I wish we didn't have to. And I feel like we have to pivot, you know, multiple times in the dancing of the business in this current landscape.
definitely.
It's just, it is what it is. Pivot and pirouette and turn, and it
Yeah.
doesn't stop. The dance continues.
But in business, when you're busy and doing things, it's like, you just automatically doing stuff. But when huge challenge comes in front of you, that's when it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it shakes you and forces you to stop and think and then pivot. So I embrace those challenges as one of those amazing things that happened, and then gives me opportunity. A lot of big businesses come out after financial crisis or all these social crisis. So I think this is a good opportunity for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we can sink and then disappear, which the
Mm,
entrepreneurial spirit won't let me do that, and obviously you either. And my saying with it is the possibility of something even more beautiful. So
mm,
allowing that to humble me, strengthen me, gain
mm.
more clarity on my positioning, messaging, the offers, all of that. Feel the anger, feel the frustration too, because it's really important that we're
Yep.
honoring the emotions that we're going through as entrepreneurs, and then just going, all right, stay with the momentum, and we just keep going.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
I want to ask you, what got you started on your entrepreneurial journey in the beginning?
I remember when I was like maybe 4 years old in Japan, I used to pick flowers and bundle them up, put the ribbon, sell it in front of my house. So I think I was always entrepreneurial.
Wait, are you have you this is going to sound like I've made this up and I haven't. You haven't read my second book and you weren't at the book launch. Your husband was.
No, yep,
Okay. I kid you not. So the second book is Redefining Business Success the Heart-Centered Way. It's a
yep.
collaboration book. And I write in there that my entrepreneurial journey started at 7, picking flowers and selling them on the street.
We are soul
I
sisters.
was going to say, I've never met anyone else who's done anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, yep,
And I was like, I thought 7 was young, but you were 4, so you were ahead of the game. But yes, that's why I was like, hang on a second, what? Yes, I
yep.
understand that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that was in me. I think my grandfather, he was an orphan actually, but then he started an amazing fruits and vegetable shop. And
Yes.
before, it was like $5 for this and $10 for this. He started to sell by weight rather than by, packaged packs. And then, people can pick the one that they want. And then also, he can add a few more to make them feel special and then give more value to the clients. And then his business flourished. And then back then, around the time of war and everything, he had car parts business as well. So, I believe I inherited his business DNA. And so
Yes.
that's part of me.
It's
Yeah.
in the blood, isn't it? And I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I sort of repressed that for a long time. I think also
Mm,
being in spiritual business before spiritual was really mainstream. I'm talking
mm,
20 something years ago. So I really pushed all of that down, going, no, 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 nothing woo woo and nothing business. Let's get a job. And then as I, moved through my 30s, it was like, no, this is completely what I'm here to do. So
mm.
no more repressing that. If you could go back in time and chat to your younger self, it might be your 4-year-old self or it might be further down the line. Let's say at a time where there were some challenges, what might you say to her?
I I think when I'm actually one of those lucky person that I don't remember things are bad.
Oh, that's great. Can we have
Right.
that?
So I forget. I forget the bad things that happened to me. Other people remember,
Yeah, wow.
but and then I don't take notice of that. So I remember my when I was teenager and I got bullied,
Mm,
I think. And then one of the girls, at the graduation ceremony, she said to me, Kyoko, I'm so sorry. I've been ignoring you. And I said to her, have you been? Like I didn't even notice. It's like I'm so much in my own little world doing things that I love.
beautiful.
And so I don't have a lot of regrets. And I have this feeling that whatever happens in life
Mm,
is preparing you for you to be better and do the things that you want to do in the future.
mm,
So I'll probably say that to my younger self and say, it's okay. It is okay. You know, you don't see it yet. You only see it when that happens, but it's all about preparing yourself.
mm.
So it's,
That's
yeah.
so beautiful. Um, And I wish we all had that, to be just so focused on what you love doing and doing that, that nothing else even sort of really registers. That's a really beautiful trait to have. That's amazing. Yeah, that's so good. Um, can you tell us what does playing bigger and playing beautiful mean to you?
Playing bigger and playing beautiful.
Mm.
It's really, I believe it's about true to yourself.
Hmm.
There's a lot of noise that's happening outside, but playing bigger is just knowing who you are and doing what you are meant to do
Yes.
with integrity. So that is beautiful,
Mm.
you know. Um, I think you have so much power and you are here to do whatever you have to do. There is a divine purpose for you. And you might not see it and you might not find it right now. But if you have a feeling of what you have to do, where you have to be, or where you want to go, there is a little voice from the universe, I believe, that comes as an inspiration to you. And following that with integrity and love, I think then you will you will do the business in a way that it's true to you and
Mm.
also adding value to others.
Beautifully expressed. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I especially love the part about integrity. That's a
Mm.
very high value for me.
Mm-mm.
And I feel actually really grateful to be around some incredible people, friends and colleagues and clients that operate from that same space. And I don't remember that wasn't always the case. That, there were
Mm.
times where I felt I was trying too hard or my expectations were too high. And no, it wasn't that. It was the wrong environment for me.
Yep. Yeah,
My level
definitely.
of integrity was
Understand.
perfect because it's mine. And it
Mm.
just took me on my personal and professional journey a little bit of time to meet the right people who matched
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of, sometimes we have to be a party of one before we can sit at a table of three or five or 10 people. We have to be
Yep.
solid in ourselves. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful. Can you let us know what key strategies have helped grow your business the most? And it can be, this current business or something historically as well.
Um, I think knowing and well, looking back what happened in my business life, always it's about helping people. And the reason why I became financial planner was I wanted to help people, um, for them to have freedom
Mhm.
of time or money. I used to do a lot of charity work, and I was a president of multiple charitable organizations. And always there, a bunch of people come to me and say, I really want to help you, but I don't have time or I don't have money.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, how can I help those people? And that's when I decided to become a financial advisor.
Yes.
And but um, and also knowing your strengths
Mm.
and your weakness can be your strengths is another key learning that turned my business around. So when I became a financial planner, and the first 2 years I worked for a company and I could not sell, I'm a great financial planner, but sales wasn't my strong, skill set and I couldn't sell. So, my boss said, I'm sorry, I have to, you know, terminate your contract. It's like, okay, but I really love what I do. I said to him, you don't need to pay me. I don't need to be an employee. I just want to be a contractor. Can I just be a contractor and still work in this environment? But, I I will pay you part of the whatever I make. So we uh, created a new arrangement. It's a bit silly because I didn't do well as a financial planner. I couldn't sell. So, new environment with no backing, how could I do better?
Mhm.
But I had this feeling. It's like, no, 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 I like this. I want to do this. And then I analyzed why I could not sell. And that was wrong environment, I feel.
Right.
Or rather, it was a wrong audience.
Yes.
Me back then was a young Japanese girl tried to sell a retirement planning to old Australian couples. It's like they're like, okay, well, who's this little girl? Tried to tell us what to do with our
Mm.
money. It was the wrong audience.
Right. That makes sense.
So I thought, okay, well, what is the right audience for me?
Mm.
Young Japanese, you know, was a weakness. Then I should turn it around.
Yes.
And I focused on helping Japanese clients living in Australia.
Beautiful.
So whatever you think it is a weakness can be turned around
Hmm.
if it matched with the right audience.
Yes.
And so, I thought, oh, this is a great learning. It just, if it's not going well, you just have to step back and assess
Yes.
why it's not working. And it may be not you, it may be just the wrong audience or wrong messaging or something else,
Yeah.
but you just have to see it. So that was, I think, the second biggest learning. And first one, I said it's helping people, but
Mm.
also when COVID happened and I was, um, still being a financial planner, my licensee went into a little bit trouble. ASIC said, okay, you can't take new clients. I said, okay, well, can't take new clients. Um, and then also we had a COVID, so we couldn't, well, a lot of clients were panicking. They
Mm.
were canceling all the policies. I
Mm.
was going through a lot of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going through this stuff.
Mm.
But imagine all the other Japanese people living in Australia, they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand the government systems. They are not good at reading and understanding what's available to help them. So I said, okay, well, I better help them. So
Yes.
I created a Facebook group and then I started sharing what they have to do, um, how they can get a government support, who's eligible, all that stuff.
Yes.
And then that group grew to like 4,000 people
Wow.
within a very short amount of time. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then I said to them, okay, well, I gave everything that I knew and could help them. What do you want to know next? It was still in middle of COVID.
Mm.
And they said, oh, we want to know how to make money. We want to make money. It's like,
Yes.
well, but everything is shut down. You can't go back to work. And
Yes.
of course, as a financial planner, I want to tell them to invest, but it's not the right time to invest.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, well, I'll teach you how to make money by using your skills and expertise
Yes.
by starting your own business. So
Yes.
I run a free 5-day business challenge.
Yes.
And then I didn't want to just let them go after that. So I created an online membership.
Yes.
That's the one that you came to speak.
Yes. I was going to say this sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah. So by helping people without thinking, what do I get in return? I just created those things out of nothing. I was there to help.
Yes.
So I think, yes, you have to have a good strategies and you have to have good follow-up systems. And there are a lot of tools available right now to help you get started and scale your business. But also the core principle of why you're doing the business and who you are has to be true to yourself.
Hmm.
And it's always about adding value to people and helping them.
Yes. Yeah. Beautifully said. At its simplest form, it's adding value. It's being of service.
Mm.
And then from there, the offerings and the packages and memberships and things can all be refined.
Yep.
And I can see also, and then we pivot because then everything changed
All
again
changes.
during
Yes.
COVID, after COVID, and you move in a different direction. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like for me, maybe from the outside, it looks like a lot has changed, but I've actually been doing the same thing for 20
Mm.
something years. It's just that it's been different versions and I've been refining that.
Yep.
And a part
Yep.
of me, as you're speaking, is going, oh, do I need to be? And I'm going, well, that's Kyoko's story. That's what she does. But, and I think it's important to share that because also we're all different.
Mm.
There might be people who stay with the one thing for 20, 30, 40 years. Yes, different versions because we have to. And then others may have many different industries and different roles that they play. And I think it comes back to, and I think you'll agree, but I think it comes back to authenticity and knowing yourself.
Mm. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
I
living.
think that's the key right now because AI, came out and everything is easy. Everyone can be an instant guru.
Yeah.
Everyone can write, everyone can post. And then if everybody's using the same success template,
Mm-hmm.
no one's unique anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And how to be yourself and how to stand out is just to be yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, Yayoi she's a Japanese artist with, polka dots and colorful
Mm.
wigs. And, you know, I was thinking about her yesterday actually, and I thought, oh, she is weird. If you just look at her, if she was just walking down the street or be in a shopping center, she looks just, oh, crazy woman, But everybody acknowledged that she's a genius.
Mm.
And once you recognize as a successful person or visionary, then you are successful. But until then, you're weirdo. And that's okay. You just have to be yourself. And that's who you are, and that's okay to be like that, you know. So I think especially now, with all this, AI things coming up, it's important to be you are, who you are and be authentic and share
Mm.
yourself.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, and it's making me think of something. Just a bit of a disclaimer. It's a little bit of a heavy sharing, but I've lost six people close to me, and I'm
Mm,
only in my 40s. And one of those was my mum when I was pregnant. And the blessing and the lesson, although I wish I hadn't have gone through that much loss,
mm,
it's awful. Um, but it's taught me to really be myself. I want to be able to have a beautiful life and a business that's successful, whatever that looks like and means in terms of numbers and tax things and retirement and everything else. But if I can, leave this life, leave this body, and feel like I did what I came here to do, and I know myself, even if, and may this not be the case, but even if no one saw and no one knows, to have that level of conviction with myself, it's a bonus if others see me. And that's part of what I was sharing before about the table by myself. But that to me is that the inner wealth. That's how I would define it.
mm, mm,
It's yeah. So that's the lesson and the blessing in the loss.
mm.
Yeah.
I feel we all know that we don't want to have regrets when we die.
Mm,
And when I was younger and I read that on social posts or books, and it's like, yeah, 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 I don't want to have a regret.
mm,
But now see my parents in their 80s, and I see my mom sometimes talks about when she was younger, she was working and she had to, quit her job and then have kids and being a stay-home mom, and she has a regret about that.
yeah.
And there's nothing she can do about it right now because she's, that time's gone.
Yeah.
And seeing that and hearing her talking about it in a way, I was thinking, okay, this is a regret. She's not, she is getting older. She's, in her 80s. But when you realize, yes, you have to live each day as your last, and then have that level of, you know, fulfillment in your life, that is a really inner peace.
Hmm.
And yeah, that made me think. I can't say it in a way, properly, but I just felt, wow, I don't want to have this. I
Mm,
wish my mom didn't have this kind of a regret.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, for anyone who's younger or older listening to this, definitely it is real. We today is the youngest that we've ever been, and we were always getting older. You might stay healthy, you might look younger, but it's inevitable. And then when that time comes, like you're saying, you want to have inner peace that yes, I did things that I was here to do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Can I ask you, switching gears slightly, and we did chat about this before we hit record, with the Six Selves framework, which is my beautiful self-inquiry framework, what self is your favorite or resonates the most and why?
I love the legacy self.
Yeah.
Um, it is, we have been talking about this, but just who you are,
Yeah.
and then bringing that inner power to this world to connect, and then possibly leave a piece of you on this planet to create a positive impact. That's, I felt that's what I love to do. So yeah.
That's beautiful. That's been a popular one on the podcast in the interviews the last month or two. It's interesting how there's often themes. I wonder if
Oh
it's
yeah.
driven by whether it's astrology or politics or the economy or all of it. It's all connected. But yeah, that one has come up a lot. Lucky, last question for you is what advice do you have for others who are creating a business that serves both the world and their heart?
So I'd like to share my story about when I was a financial planner and when I had kids.
Yeah.
It was very hard for me. And I had a lot of resentment. I wanted to work. I had this um, feeling that or not feeling, I had a responsibility for my clients, for my staff. I needed to do this.
Mm.
And then kids are small, At this moment, they are 7 and 9, so it's getting easier.
Yes.
But when they are small and cries, and only way to communicate is crying, or you know, everything is hard.
Yeah.
And so I was very frustrated. And after I saw my companies, I decided I don't want to have that feeling anymore.
Mm.
I felt like I was a bad mother. I felt like I resented my decisions and life. And I just, things are, successful in business, and then clients are happy and doing well. But internally, I had this struggle
Yeah.
as a mother, as a business owner. And so I decided not to be that person anymore. I said, okay, business is there, business is here, there to stay, but my kids, they're important too. And then what I realized was um, when you go through business, and business is not a short-term thing, you'll be, months and years to grow and scale your business. Life stages changes, and what you go through, what you learn, who you're gonna be with. And sometimes you might have to look after your older parents, or sometimes you have teenage kids, or sometimes younger kids, or sometimes you go through health crisis, or personal relationship crisis, or a lot of things happen outside of business as well. And then when that happens, you have to change your expectation or your vision, image of your success and what happiness means to you.
Mm.
So there are a lot of tools out there to make your success in business, but success in business it doesn't mean happiness in life. And to have that balance,
Mhm.
to have that success in business, but also feeling peaceful and blissful and happy in your own life, is about having right balance. And to do that is you have to constantly adjust that happy image. So the expectation has to match. The vision of your success has to change depending on what's happening in your life. Because sometimes holding a newborn baby and just spending every day with the baby is a happiness. Sometimes growing and scaling and doing a podcast and sending email newsletters and building a website and doing all that stuff can be success. So and then frustration comes from not meeting your expectations.
Mm.
So, in order for you to have internal peace and sanity, I think you just have to step back and assess, okay, what is happening right now and what is success right now for me. So, I think
Beautiful.
that's a
I
good
love
balance.
that so much. Yes, because there's so much change,
Mm,
and especially now. I think we're going to continue to see this, level of constant change, especially with technology. It's just
yep.
inevitable. We're on the fast train, and yet at the same time, there's more of us. looking for the internal landscape and the peace within. So it's such an interesting time to be on the
It
planet
is.
and to be a business owner on the planet. But yes, I love what you're sharing. It's the course correcting, the sweet spot, and coming back to yourself. And I know that we didn't sort of really speak about this, but I know that we both, share this as well. But coming back, whether that's to breath work or meditation or something that just brings you into that space. We have to. You can't not have that these days. We need the pause with
Yep, definitely.
happening. So
Definitely.
so good. I'm wondering before we do click and finish off, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
So recently I've been feeling a lot of things are moving fast
Yeah.
with AI and technology advancement and everything. But I feel you have to have a reason. You have to have that time, the downtime or peaceful time for you to reflect. And in order for you to do that, you have to have a routine or structure in your life. And that is one piece of advice that if you create your own routine or schedule or structure, then you will flourish. It's like an atomic habit book. It's about the creating a right habit and routines. And once you do that, I set myself, I have these non-negotiables.
Mhm.
I wake up at 5,
Mhm.
sleep at 9:30, that's non-negotiable. First thing I do is output
Mhm.
before input. I do not scroll or do anything else before, oh, yeah, um, until I finish writing my Monday to Friday post or write down my journals. I have a journal that I write in the morning and then before I sleep. So once you create these rules
Mm.
and then structures, and then you will feel a lot more grounded. And then it doesn't matter what's happening outside. It can be just going, all the AI stuff happening in like a million miles an hour, but you feel, okay, who I am, what do I have to do? So creating a structure is a key to have that peace in life.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm having flashbacks to one of your productivity workshops so many years ago. And one of the
Yeah.
things that stayed with me as a mum, my baby will be 17 this year, which is just
Mm.
wild. But I remember that you taught us that one of the things that you do is you would put like a colored ribbon or like something on the door, and that signal to your family, like you cannot come
Yeah.
in because you're in a
Yeah.
meeting or there's something happening. And I thought that is genius because sometimes in business you it's different. I think these days now people can come and go, but this is before COVID. But it's so genius to have that boundary of actually mum or wife is in there and we can't go in, like unless something's really happening,
Yeah.
I not come in here. And that stayed with me and I implemented
Yeah. So
that.
when I have my headphone or headset, that's the time that you cannot talk to me. That's my new rule. So, yeah.
I'm thinking, do I? My son's in his room, so I'm lucky if I even like see him. So I haven't got that many rules, and my beautiful partner is
Yeah.
very respectful. But yes, if we've got busy people around us and kids and families and things happening, that's hugely important.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your heart, your energy, your time, and your wisdom. We love you, and yeah, we will talk to you very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Debbie.
The information provided on this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered medical, health, or financial advice. Always consult with a qualified health professional or financial advisor before making any decisions related to your personal health or finances.